Welcome to Sex, Lies, and Blank Pages with our special guest, Miranda from Probably Off Reading. Welcome. We're so
Um,
excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so
she looks at
excited.
it. She's like, I'm excited to be here. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it or not.
So I've known you for years now, and I'm super excited to have you on. But for all of our listeners, authors, and readers alike, and people who have stumbled upon this, could you introduce yourself to them, please?
Sure. Okay, so I'm really excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm Miranda from Probably Off Reading. I don't really know how my content creation journey started. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, I posted the most cringiest random video and it just snowballed from there. But yeah, I read all different genres, like anything from cozy romances, cozy mysteries to dark romances and fantasies. And I'm actually a secret thriller lover as well. So I don't just read romances. I love thriller and like suspense books. So I truly read like all different genres and I like to just hop between them. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
And for your content, for people who don't know, I think one there you've had a few notables, right? I think
Mhm.
your notables is showing off the books that you read, obviously, with your stacks of books and gorgeous bookshelves behind you, but also the content that you do with friends and your husband. And it's very upbeat, it's very light, it's very positive, and it's freaking hysterical sometimes, like your husband's face when you're describing the setup for a book.
Yes.
I
So
know it didn't. I just watched one where he had to hold the water, like, and you were describing things.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, oh, like, but I
No,
think
I
right now, especially people are wanting that fun, light. There's so much negative that I feel like people are going to be naturally drawn. Obviously, they are. You have a huge following. All of us like watch them too. It's just nice, like to be like, oh God, somebody else that just enjoys reading.
Yes.
yeah.
And that can make you
One
smile. You make me
Yeah,
smile.
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad. That makes me so happy to hear. I genuinely I think when I started to like gain followers and stuff, I kind of just realized like I want my page to be a fun, positive place. And so I try to steer away from anything negative or drama. And it is hard as a content creator because those type of videos bring in huge views. And I think
Mhm.
it's why a lot of people sometimes do steer their content towards some of those topics. But I've tried really, really hard, and it's really important to me personally to keep my page a positive, safe space because I love the community and I love the readers, but also the authors as well. And so I try to keep my page positive for both authors and readers. And I don't know. I just like, I want people to come onto my page and smile. I want authors to feel like they're not going to see their book in one of my videos where I'm like, this was the worst book I ever read, you know? So, like,
Or
I like
calling it a
keeping my
ball, like,
page.
yeah.
Yeah, I like to try to keep my page a little bit more aimed towards that. And I like to incorporate my husband into some of my content. Just this weekend, my sister came up and we did a couple videos together with her, and I just posted a video today where I had to clip out so many things she said because I'm like, you can't say that. Like, I'll get shadow banned. Please. Like,
I want
you
to see it
can't.
on my own. But like, what is that
Yeah.
human nature? Like you said, being negative content brings in such huge
Yeah,
views. And I'm like, that's
it
just
does.
psychologically like, what is that about human nature that we tend to like, oh, the night, the pretty, oh,
Mhm.
whatever. But like, oh, I have salacious gossip. And people are like, what? And
Yeah.
it's just like such a
even
funny thing, like, go ahead,
when
Will.
when reviews come in, we look at the one star. Like I do think that there's a psychological aspect to probably survival, where the negative is what draws all that attention, and then the algorithm obviously is going to support more negative content.
Yes.
But it's obviously supporting your positive content, because A,
Mhm.
it's hysterical. It does make people feel good, and it is an escape. And I have the same mindset as well. I want to be a safe escape place, because there were some subreddits and some content creators that I was like, if I'm feeling bad, I want to go watch. And then they posted some like negative things, and I'm like, I'm not. I can't. Like, I needed an escape for a minute. I needed to compartmentalize. So
Yeah.
I'm the same way where I'm like, let me keep this my happy little bubble, and everything right here is my happy little bubble. And then I come on the podcast, and that's when
Yeah.
You're like, "Bleh."
I blah, 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 blah.
No. No, for sure. I think as a content creator and a couple of my other content creator friends also try to keep their pages more positive too. And sometimes when there's a drama kind of going on Book Talk at the moment, you'll notice that for the week, like your views drop because the only thing the algorithm's pushing out is that topic or whatever's happening that week on Book Talk. And so you just kind of got to power through sometimes during those weeks. But I do think that I think in a way I actually don't have my platform on TikTok monetized. So I think I'm one of the only creators right now not monetized, and I keep wanting to like make the leap into monetizing on TikTok. But I have some other friends who are monetized who also keep their pages more positive. And I think we truly believe that some accounts are monetized and they rage farm
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
to get, you can make thousands. Like genuinely, like sometimes if you go onto some of those content creators' pages and you start estimating probably what they're making off of the drama view videos, you're like, it's probably why they're rage farming it so bad so much. And sometimes I will say, like, I do think a lot of times a lot of topics are very important and I don't want to categorize them all as drama. But
Mhm.
then I think sometimes certain situations can be over nitpicked, or it's like we're looking for a problem to get views to get the money. So
Exactly. Yeah, we're picking up exactly what you're throwing down by
Yeah.
compartmentalizing that as well with like serious topics that do affect the community.
right.
But your page is going to be that safe escape versus
Yeah.
topics that, they're in the Olympic level of reaching
Mm,
to hit these
right.
kinds of conversations. Yeah, and we've discussed that before, and I do think that that's a problem just with social media. And with monetization, but also with there's psychological effects. There's a book called The Anxious Generation. Have I? I don't think I've mentioned it yet on the podcast, have I?
No, just you and I talked about it.
My therapist recommended it to me, and it's about the effects of social media on it's specifically, I believe your generation, that it's aimed for. But my therapist was like, "You're on social media so much, you should read this too." And it's really dramatic, the effects that it can have. So I
Yeah.
think you're doing amazing work by keeping a very positive, happy space. And the more we can have of those online, the better.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
personally love it. And I want to know what is, because I asked Sean, I was like, I need you to watch this. It was freaking hysterical. It was the first one that I saw of your husband, and he like spit all over your books. I want to say the water was
Oh, yeah.
like, but it was like the first line out of your mouth, and he could not contain himself. That was the first one that I saw. Was it
Yes.
the first time that he ever came on? Was it like,
No. So a really popular series I do with him. I haven't done one in a couple months, mainly because I think I'm running out of like some crazier books, maybe. But a really, really popular series I used to do with him was my hook was like, hey, can I tell you about the last crazy book I read? And they're just like the fun books, like genuinely, they're just fun. Like I think one was Unhinged, the sentient door book,
yes,
or there's
oh
like
my gosh.
a were turkey book where she saves a turkey from a farm and it turns into like half man. So
Only
I
half
think there was
though.
like a circus balloon one. So I've done those with him and those are really fun. But he's popped up into my content. But I like to do like little fun series, kind of like hold your water in the mouth
Yeah.
while I talk about books. And that turned out really bad. I genuinely thought that he would like spit the water back into the cup. But the part of the video you missed, because I clip it all out, is it went all over my books. Like there was a stack of books in front of him.
Divorce.
One of them was a special edition, but when I tell you I got so lucky because the water projected in between the book covers. And so as I'm taking each book off, like there's water in between each layer. So for the rest of that video, on my couch are all the other books air drying.
Oh no.
Wiping down all the books and air drying them. And then for the rest of the video, I tried to be better about moving them out of his way.
Oh,
Have a little
Like
umbrella,
projected them.
like a clear umbrella protecting the books.
Yes, but it was like they were. My setup is like a table here, but then we have a coffee table, and it was like onto the books on the coffee table. So
I love it so much.
so fun.
so funny.
It really.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so I know that you're not monetizing your content, but you do have a book club too. And like, what I know this is fun for you. You enjoy reading, and you are obviously a book talker. But in what aspects are you like finding your comfort within the community? And kind of like, I see you as a leader of this positive book club and positivity surrounding
Yeah.
these crazy themes and like just having fun with the genre and it being what it
Right.
should be.
Yeah, so I have actually I have a virtual book club that's free. And I use the app called Fable. And then sometimes like they'll hire me to do like a giveaway book club. So I'll do like a one-off book club on there for like a month. But that just kind of started more recently in the past few months, them using me for that. But try to keep everything for my followers as free as possible. Like for when it comes to my followers, like I think the only platform I'm monetized on right now is Facebook, but when it comes to all my book clubs and my other platforms, I'm trying to keep them just like a free space. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I make my income off of more of the brand deals I do and stuff, and that makes me feel better about having like my followers paying for subscriptions and stuff that I offer. But then I'm doing the Barnes and Noble book club actually this Friday, and it's with your book, Willow. Yeah, I'm really excited. So I guess when this podcast airs, it will be several months into the book club by then. But
Yeah.
I'm really excited
Well,
for
then
that.
not
I
mine.
just yeah, I just got for the first like book club meeting, we're gonna paint on tote bags. So I got a bunch of stencils and paints and tote bags for everyone to paint on. So something fun, but I really value just community. I really do like the community and just getting to know people and even having such a large platform. It's crazy how like I recognize a lot of my followers, you know? And I don't know if you girls like get that too, but like if you have someone who's always commenting on your stuff or sending you messages on like Instagram stories and things, like you recognize them, you know?
Oh,
And I
100.
love that. Like it makes me so happy if I recommend a book and then a week later they come back to that video and they're like, I had to come back and tell you how much I loved that book. Like it makes my day. And so trying to keep like positive places where they're accessible to people where they it's not behind a paywall or anything just for the community. Like I look at it as kind of like a very large book club, very large friend group, you know?
And I love that you're doing it for the love. I
Yeah.
just say though, you are doing amazing work and money should just
Um,
follow you. It should
Mhm.
fall just so that we have more of this. The world needs more of this. So brand deals, any merch, if you wanted to do drop ship merch, people would gobble that up. Like I am just rooting for you
oh,
getting
thank you.
all of the abundance in all ways so that you keep doing what you're doing because it is amazing and you deserve it
Oh,
in
thank
all
you.
ways. So I
And then
want
maybe more will follow in that footsteps where then, positive
exactly.
equals positive kind of thing. I'm just curious, like, what made you start this? Was it during COVID? Like, what was it? Just the TikTok kind of up, start? And then do you have advice? Like, there's probably so many people that follow you that would love to do the same kind of thing and the kind of advice you
Yeah.
could give them.
Okay, so it's actually very funny a little. I think I talked to you, Willow, about this a little bit. I don't remember if we just spoke about it in DMs a couple weeks ago, but so the very I started reading again because I was so bored. Like I genuinely was so bored and I just like hours upon hours at night, I would just be sitting on my couch telling my husband like how bored I was. Like I had watched every TV show, rewatched all my favorite movies 100 times and I just was super bored. But it was also during a period of life where I was struggling with a lot of anxiety and depression. And I just found that boredom kind of leads to you sitting a lot with your thoughts.
Mhm.
And so I've been in
Oh,
therapy
not
for
the
eight.
thoughts.
Yeah, I know, right? I've been in therapy for, I want to say about 8 years. And newest therapist at that time, who I'm still in therapy with to this day. I think we're going on like 2 or 3 years together. He stuck with me. Um, that same week, like when I looked at my husband after like the 1000th time of complaining about how bored I was, he was like, "What did you enjoy doing as a kid? Like maybe you need a hobby, you know?" And I was like, I loved reading as a kid. Like I'm talking stealing a flashlight, like under
Under the
my covers with a
Yeah.
flashlight,
Mhm.
holding my hand atop above the flashlight to make sure it's not shining anywhere else, reading all hours of the night. I grew up in a very strict conservative family. And so it's a little funny because we weren't allowed to read like a lot of the popular books probably while I was growing up. We weren't allowed to read any of that. They weren't whatever words my parents would use, but I wasn't allowed to read things like martyr books, so like adult books where like Christians were being sacrificed to like lions and shredded apart, for their religion and stuff. And so like little like 9-year-old me, it's the only thing I'm allowed to read. I'm like under the blankets reading about people like dying for their faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those were like the books I read growing up. I did read The Magic Tree House, which was like really fun, but I'm bunny trailing a little bit here. But those were the books I kind of grew up on.
I also grew up in like well, half was very religious and then the other half, my parents are divorced, very conservative. And like it's
Yeah.
crazy my healing journey and how it led me to
Mhm.
romance books and how romance books are such a big
Yes.
yeah.
No, same. So when my husband brought it up, it was like this light bulb moment where I was like, whoa, I could read anything I want to now. Like I can go to the library and pick out any book. And it just like had this little spark within me. And I think I just still kind of sat on the couch thinking about it and like didn't have the motivation to actually go do anything about it. And then that same week, I was in therapy and I was telling my therapist how bored I am. And my therapist was like, what did you enjoy doing as a kid? And I was like, again, I said reading. And he was like, you need to start reading. Like next time I see you, I want to hear about what book you read. And so I was like, great, I've been given homework. But I got really excited. And so I got on Kindle Unlimited and I was like, it's unlimited? Okay, sign me up. And when I say it changed my life, I came from a very, maybe like you, Willow, like I came from a very strict, very Christian, very conservative household where, like, not to go into too much details, but like women just were not allowed to think for themselves. Like it was very so much, all my therapists have called it a cult. Like I came out of a cult and like women were not allowed to think for themselves, decide things for themselves, feel your own emotions. And so I grew up just learning to like not feel anything, right? Like if I had an emotion, it would cause a reaction. And so I just learned to grow up and like not allow myself to feel a lot of emotions. And as an adult, I was like, it feels very weird that like things that other people would cry about, I like suffocated in, and I don't allow myself to feel it. But when I started reading and I in my head imagine myself as the female main character, it was just it was an incredible feeling because like when she felt happy in the book, it was like I was feeling happy. When she was going through something sad, I'm crying. And it almost like reteaching me those emotions and it's okay to feel them. And when I say it just changed my life, like it really, really helped me. So I love now having a platform and never thinking I would have like the size platforms I have and seeing people say like you started my love of reading again. I literally just got that comment the other day, someone saying like I started reading because of you and I can't stop now. And I love that because it's what happened for me.
And just
So
thinking when you were talking about that, not only did you probably a lot of women like Willow too would be nodding their heads going, oh my God, I went through that. Or so many people listening right now that are still going through that don't realize they are, but maybe you spark something that like oh my God, I do suppress. Oh my God, I still feel that boredom. And more to me, it's not that boredom, it was the restlessness. It was the fact your emotions were like hitting
Right.
against you, going like, I need out, I need something to do. And let, so I wonder how many people right now will eventually listen to this and like, start their journey on that same path of like, oh my God, I was the same, because there's so many times I think when you're in it, you don't want to recognize it. And then hearing somebody say it, oh, you're like, oh, whoa, that's me. That's me,
Mhm.
And
So,
there's
Yeah.
so much healing in romance books, specifically
mm,
because you're going to get that happily ever after at the end. So you can go through wild emotions and feel things at a distance, right? It's at a what's it called? A cognitive dissonance, because
Mhm.
you're not putting yourself completely in the heroine's perspective because she's banging a doorknob or whatever, right? Whatever it is, right?
and in the fantasy, you can be badass.
Yeah,
You can push that cold out of
banging a hole right through the wood. But yeah, I have no idea. I haven't read that one. I have not read Unhinged, but I've heard all about it. But you have permission to feel and to cope and to make mistakes and be flawed in these books and still be worthy of love, which that worthiness of love is a part of like the traumatic effects from my own, just personally speaking, upbringing within the upbringing that I had and in a lot of different ways that I'm still coping with. But it's crazy when I go back and I read sections of what I wrote prior to identifying things, how obvious it is that I'm coping with those things, which is a topic for my therapist, not which I'm also in there. I actually missed my therapist appointment because I'm still recovering from traveling. Don't worry, I messaged her. I'm going to reschedule. But yeah, everything that you're saying is so unique to the romance genre. Although thrillers and other genres, obviously you're going to feel, but romance is the only one where you're going to be loved at the end. And you know
well,
that you're going to be loved at
and
the
I
end.
know we've talked about this topic. It also gives women empowerment to feel
Mhm.
sexual, to be like, I want that. I like that feeling. I feel powerful in the fact that what I want, what I desire, where before it's like very suppressed, and
Yeah.
it can be very suppressed in real life.
And
So
again,
like
that's
those,
that's another part of the healing journey.
yeah.
It is.
So listening to you, it's just like, oh my God, I could totally see how
Yes.
you did this, like how your journey came. And
I
so many,
love
why
it.
probably so many people follow you is they feel like they're like, oh my God, I can see myself in you.
Mhm.
Yes.
I think not to bunny trail a little bit off of this, sorry, but
Let's
like
hop away. Let's
one of
go.
the one of the funny things about being in therapy though, and him being the one to suggest going back into reading, is like even though I keep my page very positive and everything, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, Willow, is like you can get a lot of hate still, and especially in the romance genre, and just even like the dark romance books. And I do a lot of the videos, right? Like the ones that have my husband in them, the he's a 10, but and a lot of them are to invoke a like, whoa, that book sounds shocking. Um, but then you can just get a slew of hate on those videos. And I'm fairly positive that I sometimes get put on probably like subreddits and stuff, and I'll just get hundreds and hundreds of comments a day. But surprisingly, I think as a content creator, you learn to let that roll off because it pushes your video. So, like, sometimes I think when I end up on subreddits, that video that sat at 100,000 views will get pushed up to 1.5 million views,
And you're like, thank you for
and the
hating me.
books end up like top 10 in the Kindle store or something. And so it's like, with the bad comes a lot of good. But then I told my therapist, I was like, how funny is it that the thing you suggested to me as a hobby to help with my anxiety and depression has now come full circle and can cause anxiety sometimes as well. So
It is one thing that
it's
I will say
funny.
because I've had slew of all sorts of hate. I actually had one of my highest bidder books came misprinted and it was Leviticus inside. Yeah,
Remember that?
great on
That's my
TikTok.
favorite.
It did great on Instagram and Facebook. Great as in they went viral everywhere, but like funny comments like haha, hee hee, blah blah. And funny enough, like I literally prayed and I asked for a viral and then that came and it went viral, right? But it also went viral on YouTube to
Oh
very
no.
angry Christian men who told me I was obviously going to hell and to repent for my sins and all this stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
I prayed for this, dude. Like God listens to me, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So, but I've dealt with my slew of hate, and what I've learned as well is just saying, that's a you problem. That's for them. I don't need to accept it. I will delete and block all day long, or I'll ask my team to delete and block if like anything, because I don't want people who are like me who want that escape and haha he
Yeah.
funny to see that kind of comment. And I have no
Yeah.
remorse. I have absolutely like I am not interested in holding somebody's hand or educating them.
Right.
Like I am too tired. I have 3 kids, 12 employees. I am booked and busy. I don't have time,
Hmm.
fortunately, like delete block and move on with my day. And I think the more you go through it, the stronger you get and the more
Yeah.
solidified you are in that position. So it is kind of funny that it's come full circle for you and you're learning like how to deal with very high level stress.
Hmm.
Social media is very high level and it feels so real. But one thing Sean will say, my husband, is social media is not real. He said a few years ago that it was going to die in a couple years. And I'm like, I don't think he doesn't have TikTok or Instagram. He has a Facebook account or used to for his mom, like to post pictures of the kids.
Hmm.
He's so anti-social media, which is hysterical. Um,
Yeah.
he's like, it's not real if you don't want it to be real.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
it's so crazy how true it is because impact wise, it is
Hmm.
so very small and minuscule. And even like, even though I do think that you can have like the biggest ripple and make the most
Hmm.
happiness, but if you don't want it to affect you, you literally like you can just turn that light switch off, which is crazy to think.
Yes. Yes.
'Cause in the moment, it doesn't feel like it all the time.
No,
It-
not at all. But it's very so much like it's not real life. And that's what I like to sometimes I hold myself back. But sometimes when I receive mean comments, I just want to say like respectfully, you need to go touch grass. Like this
Literally,
is
yeah.
not like worth you even typing this comment out, you
Yeah,
know?
because they're
Well,
coming in
it's
bad faith, right? If
Mhm.
people come in bad faith, it doesn't matter what you say. They're never going to be like,
they don't.
oh, no, I was wrong. I should go touch grass. Like,
Yeah.
no.
I'm never gonna have it. Well,
Mhm.
and in the moment, social media feels like the entire world's against you. It feels like everybody. And then I'll talk to one of my, cousins or my mom, and they'll be like, "What? I don't even know what
Yeah.
this TikTok." Like there's so much
Yeah.
of the world that isn't on it that we think like, "Oh my God, did you see that? Like everybody's coming at me or something like that." And it really is
Right.
not. Like again, when you turn it
No.
off, you walk outside, nobody on your street or nobody around your neighborhood. It's the people don't
No.
realize majority of the world is not on social media like we
Well,
are.
even on social media, people who are on social media sometimes don't even see what
Yeah,
you
they're
were
not on
upset
Book Talk or
about. Yeah,
Mhm.
or like it's very honestly crazy, especially with how the algorithm works and runs and how one platform can hate you for something and say you're going to hell, and then another platform can be like, "Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yes.
You keeping that?" Or so
Yes.
like like it's
Yep.
absolutely wild. But I think you're doing the good work and I'm excited for everything.
Thank you.
So what all is coming up? Do you have any plans for any fun things, big things, more book club?
So I think right now I'm trying to just manage what I've already created at the moment. And just trying to find the hours in the day for everything. And I would never say content creation is hard work. There are way harder jobs out there than content creation, but it's very time consuming. Like that's one thing I would say is it takes up a lot of time just keeping up with things like from creating the content. I take a lot of time just trying to figure out what's trending right now on my page, like what hook can I use, what books can I do, reading new books so you have the books to talk about. And reading a book can take 8 to 12 hours, just to get one new book to put into the rotation. And that's if you love the book. In my case, I don't normally talk about the books I DNF and I, don't enjoy, but I definitely come across them still. And so it's like, you spend a lot of time on those and then you can't talk about them or use them for content creation. So you have to try a different book. So it's very time consuming, but then just the filming, the editing, the posting, things I really love to do. So I wouldn't, again, consider them work, but keeping up with comments, keeping up with messages. I spend hours of my day, like every day I have to dedicate anywhere between 2 to 3 hours for my emails alone. Like one thing I didn't think came with this, having platforms, was just the amount of emails that come in.
Which is
Um,
which is why if
yeah.
you're monetizing, do not feel bad about monetizing because you are
Yeah.
doing work. Like that is
No, I definitely I've considered monetizing on TikTok, and I have no problems with anyone monetizing. Like I hope what I said earlier doesn't come across as judging anyone, like truly
it.
not.
It comes across as judging yourself for making money for what you love. And I hear
No, for
your love,
sure.
and I'm like,
Like
throw
I think
money at her.
Yeah, I think my comment earlier maybe came across that way, but I was trying to tie it in more so with like people. I think negative videos is why a lot of people, the monetization is the reason people turn to a lot of negative videos, because it brings in so many views. But I actually have like a very close friend who's monetized, and I love that for her. I have a hard time making decisions sometimes. And so I need to just decide to do it and go into my settings and do it. I just haven't. But by the time this airs, I might already be monetized. You never know. Maybe come February, I'll finally monetize.
I love
Um,
it. I hope you get all of the brand deals as well. Like all of it.
yeah, so like doing brand deals it's very time consuming as well. Like, it's the creative concepts, all the emailings, the negotiating, filming the content, any edits and captions, and just all those things can be time consuming. So I think right now in life, I'm trying to just handle where I'm at as best as I can with the book clubs. The Barnes and Noble book club is something I told Barnes and Noble. I said, like, I can commit to 6 months, but I need to see how those 6 months go within just everything else I have right now going on in life. Um, so that'll be kind of another thing. I don't want to say added to my plate, but like added to my schedule to kind of see how I can handle all of those things. Um, but so this week I had the podcast, and then I was asked, this is my first time being asked to host a premiere. So tomorrow I'm hosting Regretting You in like a Philadelphia theater or something like that. And
Wow.
that'll be my first time doing that. I'm a little anxious, I'd say, because I have to give like a little speech before the video starts.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, okay, do I need to memorize this speech, or can I bring up like a little cheat sheet with me and read off of it? So
It's
I
gonna
have
go.
that tomorrow, and then the book club Friday. So it's a little bit more of a busier week. But yeah, coming up, I think one thing is like I really, really do enjoy like meeting people who follow me, and like, authors and stuff. Like I love meeting and getting to interact with the book community like in person, which is one reason I wanted to do the in-person book club. But I'm also considering hosting like book trips through this like agency that does them. And I've seen a couple other book talk content creators do them, and they look so much fun. And so I'm kind of looking forward to possibly doing some of those in 2026. So we'll see if those come through and happen.
I can say you're not bored anymore, girl.
Yeah, no. I told my therapist, and he's now constantly telling me self-care. He's like, Miranda, what is
Your
the
ass on that
hour in your
soapbox.
day of self-care? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like, if it happens, it happens. Otherwise I'm drowning and stuff. But
Self-care
yeah,
is highly important. That's something we talk a lot
no,
about.
for sure.
I have one more question, and it is, have you read these books? It's three of my favorite dark romances, not by me. I
Okay.
don't know if you've read them because I'm not sure that I've seen them on your page, but I'm going to go in order of darkness.
Okay.
Owned by M. Never.
What is it again?
Owned by M. Never.
Owned by M. Never. I don't think so. I don't even think I've heard of it. Okay.
You need to read that. You need to read that. The second one
Okay.
it's by CJ Roberts, and it's called is it Captive in the Dark? Yes. So Colleen read this one. Have you guys both, Stacy and Colleen, have you read Never?
I read the whole.
The whole book, yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so CJ Roberts, Captive in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Nope.
read it? No,
No, I
haven't
haven't.
none of these, yeah.
No.
List.
You have to read it.
The third one. This is the order of dark. I went in this order and found my limit. And this last book is where I found my limit.
I might be too my limit.
Dark. It's so dark.
Quicker.
I was so invested that I couldn't stop reading, even though it's the only book I have ever flipped pages waiting for a scene to end and like skimming against my will. Like it was horrific. Called The Life of Anna. Have you read
I
it?
think that's gonna be
That
probably
was
a no for me.
I haven't heard
Stacey
of
can't
any
read
of
that.
these.
I'm done. I'm out.
It was so dark. It was so
It's
good.
hard.
There's magic in that world, so they can literally murder her and then bring her back to life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like brutal. And there's
It's really
Yeah, I
hard.
think it's because right now life
Yeah.
is so brutal. I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
know.
need that.
I'm recommending it because I think those three, they were my first. So they like my first in three different darkness levels, back to back to back. They will always hold a soft, like special place in my heart. And then I also just want
Soft
to
or
recommend,
hard spot in your heart.
yeah, a spot in my heart. What did I say?
You said soft spot in your heart. I'm like, I don't think it's soft there.
Yeah, no, it's ding, ding, ding. I'm writing a ghostly gangbang, and I'm totally gonna send it to you. It's only 8 chapters long. It's like a Halloween like fun thing. I'm just gonna send it to you for funsies.
Okay, I'm scarred of that word now though, because my sister, as I was filming with her over the weekend, she kept using gangbang, and I was you cannot say
Not
that.
do that.
I'm like, you can't
I'll say
say
bang
that
bang.
for my videos.
Say bang
That
bang.
here, but not on TikTok probably.
Jade
Yeah.
West released a book called The Bang Gang, and they still put it in the dungeon, even though it didn't say gangbang. I think she ended up having to retitle it entirely, but I was
Putting normal books in the dungeon, like, I mean, there's a lot of authors that are banned, like, get to be the banned book week. And I'm like, dude, that book was not. Why is that book banned? So
do you have a book that you would like to recommend for all of our listeners? Either
Ah.
self-care or romance, and this is their chance for shout outs too. So anything that you want to say and shout out.
Or a thriller,
I
because I'm
would-
always looking for a new good thriller too.
yeah, maybe thriller to keep it away from
Okay, so I could give you two. So and they're actually by indie authors. So one I read last fall, and I just pulled it out of my like off the bottom of my shelf and moved it up to recommend this fall season is, oh man, what is it called? Hold on. Oh, Deadly Occupants by Mads Rafferty. Mads Rafferty, I think is how you say her name. It is like a suspense thriller where like a group of girlfriends go to a haunted mansion and the spirit from that mansion follows them back home. But it wasn't even that creepy, but like it had me sweating. My palms were sweating as I was reading it. It just kind of had my heart racing. And again, it's not like ridiculously creepy. It was so good at keeping me on the edge of my seat. But a recent one that I just gave 6 stars and I loved it so, so much is called The Ascended by Parker and I think it's Greenwich. I think they're two co-authors who like write together, but it's a fantasy romance. And again, just the magic system. You have to read another series before it, called Riftborn, and then the second one I think is Duskbound for the best jaw-dropping moment at the end of The Ascended. It all ties together. They're so good at like the Easter eggs they do in their books and they get tied together. But actually I think we quite literally sold them out. Like they're currently right now, all of the hardbacks, like all their physical books are sold out everywhere. So you might have to wait to like get your hands on the physical copy, but they are on Kindle Unlimited if you want to like start reading them. But it was just so good. Like The Ascended was one of those like unique fantasy romances, I would say.
I love it. Yeah. So we have
I wrote those down.
is the first one a thriller or is it thriller romance or is it just thriller?
It's like a thriller suspense. It has a little bit of like a romance subplot to it, but it wasn't like a super heavy one.
Perfect. I love it. Any last like where people can follow you or anything else that you want to say?
So I think I'm on every platform right now. There are several fakes out there, so you got to make sure you get like all the spellings correct and stuff. But I'm probably off reading on every platform now. I'm on TikTok, probably off reading, Instagram, probably off reading. I just started on Facebook, probably off reading on there too. I'm on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fakes on YouTube of me, and I'm always like needing to get them removed. So best way to find that is probably through my like link in bio to go to it directly. But yeah, I'm kind of on all those platforms. I stay off of, what are the other ones called now? Like the Twitter or X.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I'm on Threads because Threads is now tied to Instagram, but I never use Threads. But I have like 6,000 followers on there. I don't know how that happened. I'm never on there, but it's there. So
They're waiting for you.
I'm on Threads, but I'm not active.
Well, I love that you're on there though, just because having a
Yeah.
presence on different platforms, even if you're not there, is something I always recommend for content
Yes.
authors. Yeah.
Especially to save your username because people will try
Oh,
to
well,
grab them
it.
sometimes.
Well, yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a delight. I love it. Happy reading and good luck this week. I think everything is just going to go phenomenally well for you. And I can't wait to see what next year is going to hold.
Thank you guys so
All
much for having
right.
me on. This was so much fun. Really, really fun to get to talk to you guys and just go over some of these topics and everything. It was just such a blast.
Yeah.
Coming. All right. This
Thank you.
Guys, remember, like, follow, subscribe, and share and all that good stuff. And if you have any comments, leave them below and we'll get back to you. Till next time, bye.